If Texas cornerback Malik Muhammad is big enough for the Packers, he might just be the sleeper solution at cornerback.
You are Locked On Packers, your daily Green Bay Packers podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are Locked On Packers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm Peter Bukowski, and I cover the Packers for The Leap, a newsletter I would love for you to subscribe to. Thanks to everyone who makes Locked On Packers their first listen every day. We hope you like starting your day with us as much as we like starting our day with you here on the Locked On Podcast Network, the #1 sports podcast network. It is another GUTEY'S GUYS, this time with Texas cornerback Malik Muhammad II. And the big question up front, we'll get to his fit in the defense in a minute. The big question up front is he big enough? The Packers have traditionally not drafted corners below 190 pounds. He's listed at 190, showed up at his pro day at 190, but was at the Senior Bowl and the Combine in the low 180s, 182, 183. At 6 feet tall, like maybe at 5'10", that would be okay if the Packers were to draft 5'10" quarterbacks, but they don't do that either. He's a legit 6 feet tall, and at the Combine, when he ran his 4.4, he was at 182 pounds. Now, what he'll say, and he was a former track star, jumper, and he's an elite explosive athlete. Not speed-wise, but explosiveness. He is someone who maybe can just fluctuate his weight, lean down, as sprinters do, to run fast. And then maybe, your playing weight is more like 190. Presumably, he came to his pro day to say, hey, look, this is the weight that I play at. I got skinny to run fast. And that's fine, except the teams need him to play at 190. They need him to be fast at 190. So I know this seems like a lot of discussion about weight, but this is something that the Packers traditionally care a lot about. But on tape, you don't see a skinny player. And by that, I mean, he's not someone who is going to shy away from contact. He's not someone who's going to shy away from run support. And I think he has the frame, 32-inch arms, that's 81st percentile for a corner. He's got the body where you could put some weight on, and maybe he could play at 195. Now, the question is, what is his speed at 195? Here's the other part. He's 21 years old. So he's a young player at the position, but played 41 games in college, 3 years at Texas, not a transfer, someone who was in that UT program that competed every year with big time SEC talent. And is someone I really liked. 3 years with grades over 70 at Texas, according to Pro Football Focus. Now the coverage grades were just okay. Above average run defense grades, average in man coverage, according to Pro Football Focus, 75th-ish percentile zone grade. But I saw someone who both in man and zone could compete. And he's not going to come in and be Darrelle Revis. He's not going to come in and be cornerback 1. But he's got that compete level. And he went against some really good football players. He's aggressive working downhill with his eyes to the quarterback. He had a great PBU driving on a comeback route from Jeremiah Smith on third down. Now got a little handsy at the top of the route. But he showed really good burst working back to the ball. Jeremiah Smith is an explosive guy. And Malik Muhammad is, I think he's not, 4.42. On tape, he looks more like 4.52 to me. But he's clearly fast enough to give in a cushion, not be afraid that someone like Jeremiah Smith, who could just run past him, is going to run past him. And you need that confidence as a corner. He's a willing tackler, even if he's not always the most consistent tackler. I want a compete level. Show me you are going and you're willing and not just dive and throw a shoulder like Carrington Valentine, because Carrington Valentine is not an unwilling tackler. He's just a bad tackler. And I don't think Malik Muhammad is a bad tackler. Came off his coverage to make an interception against Oklahoma. I thought he looked really good against Oklahoma. Had an interception in zone coverage against Oklahoma where the quarterback never saw him on the backside. Really nice plays. Now, not great throws, but you want someone, and you guys, I know that the combine stuff does not matter that much, but watch Malik Muhammad's gauntlet drill. He looks like a receiver out there. Like, ball skills are there. And that's what this Packers team needs. Just catch the ones they throw to you, and he can do that. Had a great tackle in the open field against Oklahoma on a flat throw, where the ball gets spit out into the flat. He's in zone coverage. He comes up and he makes a tackle. He will fight through the catch point. Has a great PBU against Oklahoma where he put his shoulder through the receiver. And I mentioned, he doesn't play skinny. He takes on blocks with force. Now, he played a lot of off zone. He showed he's got click and close. I wouldn't say he's the twitchiest guy, but in terms of his burst score, 85th percentile with his jumps. So that's what I want in zone coverage. The jumps thing, the burst, that's lower body explosion. The click and close. And when I say click and close, I mean you're backpedaling, you put your foot in the ground and you come in. It's click, close. Bap, foot in the ground and come find the ball. Now, the speed is the question here. Got beat for a would-be touchdown against Mississippi State in OT. Now, he was beat by alignment. So he just didn't have any help inside. He's got to run across the field. Just a good play design against the defense that they had. But he's someone that I think the recovery speed is the big question. Mississippi State got him on a touchdown where he missed his punch in press, got a little off balance, and then not even just got beat, never closed down the space. And that's the thing. That was the thing about Eric Stokes that got me so excited is he could miss his punch or he could lose off the release. But then the throw had to be perfect and out in front, because if it wasn't, he was going to close down that space. He was going to chase that guy up the sideline and he was going to make the play. And his rookie year, he did that a bunch. Not where he was beat necessarily, but someone had a step, the ball's not perfect, and he's able to go and make a play on the football. This is where I landed on Muhammad. Muhammad is a tall, slender cornerback who plays with an edge that belies his skinny frame. He will come downhill and support the run game. And though he's a bit of an inconsistent tackler, he is a willing one. He's competitive at the catch point, using his length to disrupt passes. He's best as an off-zone corner, able to read and react from depth, which also mitigates some of his issues with speed. The problem on tape are man and press related. If he misses his punch, he lacks the speed to recover vertically, and he's going to have some issues carrying faster receivers across the field in man coverage. In primary cover 3 or cover 4 schemes, though, he's the kind of guy who can handle his side of the field while also giving you what you need as a force player in the run game. He'd have a solid to high second round grade if I thought he actually played to that 4.42, but he doesn't, and he's slender. There's room to add to his frame, and he showed up at his pro day 190 after running 182 at the combine. I told you all this. If he can play in the 190s range and not lose speed, he can be a quality starter in zone schemes. I gave him a late second round grade. Late second round. 52 isn't super late in the second round. I don't think it would be crazy at 52 if he's dense enough for the Packers, which is the big question mark. Now, how does he fit with the Packers? We'll talk about that next. Workplace chaos, deadlines stacking up, inbox overflowing, and the one position you have to fill still sitting open. When the pressure's on and you need the right hire, this is a job for Sponsored Jobs. Indeed Sponsored Jobs helps you reach the people who actually fit what you're looking for: skills, experience, location. So you're not just hoping the right candidate stumbles across your post. And here's a stat that says it all. In the minute I've been talking to you, companies like yours have made 27 hires on Indeed, according to Indeed data worldwide. So if you're hiring, spend less time searching and more time interviewing candidates who check all the boxes with Indeed Sponsored Jobs. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to help get your job the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/podcast. Just go to Indeed.com/podcast right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? That's a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs. The NBA playoffs are here, where every possession matters. Every matchup is magnified and every game can swing a series. And right now, FanDuel is giving new customers a great way to get in on the action. Here's what I like about it. You can bet just $5 and get $250 in bonus bets if that bet wins. The app makes it easy to follow the action, player stats, trends, matchups, all in one place. And during the playoffs, that extra insight really matters when you're looking at stars, role players, and key moments. It just makes the entire playoff experience more engaging from start to finish. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. FanDuel, play your game. Malik Muhammad is a zone corner. The Packers play zone. or we expect them to play a lot of zone. Now, if they're going to play a lot of quarters, there's some man match principles and he's going to have to play some man coverage. I can't worry about the fact that the Packers don't have a true number one cornerback. When you're evaluating these corners, you have to look at it from the perspective of, can they upgrade or can this guy be a quality starter for you? Carrington Valentine probably not going to get a contract in Green Bay, though. That's the guy versus Keyshawn Nixon, I think is more likely to get a deal. I think your starting corners could be, and I've said this about a couple corners in this draft, Benjamin St-Juste and Malik Muhammad in a year, and you'd be in good shape. Those would be quality starters for you. Are they Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean and no, they're not. Are they even James Bradbury and Darius Slay, what Jonathan Gannon had in 2022? No, they're not. Here's the other part of this. Will Johnson at Michigan, not a fast guy, but a zone corner with ball skills. And the Cardinals were the team that took the chance on him. Now, they were a team that was in a position to take that chance because you can bet on pedigree when you're kind of a fledgling organization. You're trying to figure stuff out, and you're just going to bet on talent and pedigree, and that's what they did with Will Johnson. But I think Malik Muhammad, in this case, is a similar kind of bet. Physically, is he everything you want in a man cover corner? No. Though he does have the requisite length and size. But as a zone corner, that's where I like him the best. He is a smart, instinctive player. And again, he's only 21 years old. So if he can convince the Packers, hey, I can carry 195 and be what you need me to be from an athletic standpoint, that's probably good enough. Even if you can be 190 and stay 190, because these guys they show up in training camp, they look body beautiful, and then just the rigors of an NFL season, some of that weight melts away. It's easier to be training and be 190 than in the season. Guys tend to lose weight. It's like in basketball, you play your way into shape. You can show up 10 pounds overweight, and by the second or third week of the season, you're in your playing shape. That can't happen with Malik Muhammad. And so this would be a little bit of an outlier in terms of the weight at the combine. He would be the skinniest and the lightest player that they've taken in a long time. Now, if he's 5'11", it might be less of an issue. Hey, 190, if he kind of slims down to 188, 186 at 5'11", not a big deal. But at 6 feet tall, you need a little bit more weight on the frame to keep the density, to keep the proportions in line with that's where the Packers have these sorts of structures. It seems like I'm quibbling here. I understand that, but the Packers have these models for a reason. They like players who are a little bit denser, and especially at receiver, that model has worked for them for a really, really, really long time. And it makes sense that the guys covering receivers would have the same sorts of requirements. So that is the biggest question to me, because I think on tape, you're talking about a top 100 player. Now, by consensus, he's not quite there. Now, I thought it was interesting. The Bob McGinn scouts, they seem to like Malik Muhammad more than the consensus. And that's interesting. I noticed that, Julian Neal and our pal Jen Curtin, like she's teasing me about my love for Julian Neal. He's, more like a 4th round player by consensus. Tom McShay has him late 4th round. Consensus right now, he's 90. It seems like that number's falling. Maybe the NFL guys think he's a safety. Bob McGinn's scouts didn't even rank him. My guess is he'll show up in the safety part of this. That doesn't make sense to me. I think he's a corner. I didn't mean to get off on a Julian Neal tangent here, but I think it's important because he fits the physicality mold, the athletic model, better than Malik Muhammad. I think Julian Neal's a better player. So this is going to be the question for them. If he's your CB2, you're in good shape. Now, the problem is Benjamin St-Juste is like a CB2, CB3. Malik Muhammad might be a CB2, CB3. Can you survive with those kinds of guys? I think you can when they tackle and when they play sound football. He understands space. Like I was watching Ephesians Prysock, who will do a GUTEY'S GUYS on at some point. Someone that I think round 4 for the Packers checks all the boxes that you'd want. He doesn't have that same sort of spatial awareness. understanding of route distributions and where the ball is going to be and where the ball is when he's on the boundary, and doesn't seem to have the same ball awareness. I see among these guys, Malik Muhammad to me has the ball skills that the Packers need in this secondary. They need a playmaker. They need someone who is going to be able to understand, okay, I've got eyes to the quarterback, or I've got enough awareness that I've got eyes on the receiver. Okay, ball's going somewhere else. I can go make a play now. This is like in basketball where you see man and ball. Can you do both? And I just think he's got a really good feel for that. And I think in run support as well. Because a lot of these college offenses, rather than asking receivers to block corners, they will ask them to just run them off. Just pretend to run a route. And the corners don't have the awareness, especially in man coverage, because they're kind of not supposed to, right? To understand what's going on. Malik Muhammad does. And that's what I really like about him. So to me, this comes down, the tape is good enough. I think he's stylistically a really good fit for what the Packers need, and does some things that the current Packers corners don't in terms of ball skills and in terms of being a willing tackler. I don't think he's going to be someone who's going to make a business decision on the 1 yard line. He's going to go in there and fight. And they need some corners with that compete level. So if the Packers are going to take multiple of these guys, like I could see them taking a defensive tackle at 52, maybe an edge at 52, and then going third, fourth, doubling up. Can you get a Malik Muhammad and a Prysock or a Julian Neal even? Great. Now you've got the potential core of your team at corner moving forward. That's what I think Malik Muhammad can be for you. Is he going to change your life? No. Could he be an upgrade for you? I think the answer here for me is pretty unequivocally, yes, he can. Now it's a gamble, and it would be a little atypical for the Packers. This is a little bit of an atypical draft, and you're going to have to make maybe some concessions with the way that you evaluate these players. But I like this corner class on day 2, early day 3. I think there's a lot of talent there for them. I don't love the corner class at the top. So this is something that I think we have to do a lot of homework on, and we're going to continue to do it between now and the draft. So follow me on all the social medias. Follow the podcast on all your podcast platforms of choice. Well, the one that you use. Subscribe, leave a rating, leave a review. It helps other people find the show if you like what we do here. Subscribe on YouTube. We'll be live Tuesday night with a squad show, live Thursday night with a squad show, live on Friday on YouTube with our Friday news dump. And maybe there's some actual news to discuss this week. Maybe a trade, maybe something interesting coming from the Green Bay Packers. So subscribe wherever you find podcasts. And again, subscribe on YouTube as always so you can stay locked on Packers.